if you're a celeb and you park in a no parking zone, I mean to say the trolling that you're going to get and the repercussions of what you're going to get will be like, oh, how irresponsible is he? He's a role model. They will drop him from an ad. They'll drop him from a movie, when actually parking in a no parking area is just a 250 rupee fine probably. So, and we don't know how to use it. There are no laws. There is no accountability. There's accountability on one level, which is a self-proclaimed accountability. It's not in the law, but we have decided as a community, isko ban karo, isko humiliate karo, isko troll karo, isko nikal do, isko kaam se nikal. अरे भाई, क्या किया उसने? Hi, this is Arbaz Khan and you're watching Bollywood Hangama with Faridun.
Arbaz Khan, welcome back on Bollywood Hangama.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to be with you on the show.
Congratulations for the second season of Pinch. मेरा आपसे पहला सवाल ये है, फर्स्ट सीजन बहुत कामयाब रहा है. एक टॉक शो के लिए कंट्रोवर्सी कितनी इंपॉर्टेंट है?
I don't think it's necessary. जरूरी नहीं है कि कोई कंट्रोवर्सी होती है किसी चीज के साथ जुड़ी हुई तो ही जाके वो सक्सेसफुल होता है. इनफैक्ट आई वुड प्रेफर कि बिना कंट्रोवर्सी के साथ हमारा शो लोग पसंद करें, बिकॉज कंट्रोवर्सी के साथ जब कोई चीज रिलेटेड होती है तो कहीं ना कहीं क्रेडिट वहां से बढ़ जाता है कि यार ये कंट्रोवर्सी नहीं होती तो ये शो चलता नहीं या ये पिक्चर चलती नहीं. So honestly, I have want no controversy. I don't want it to be a controversial show. I do not intend to make it a controversial show. So if you ask me, honestly, there should ideally be no controversy, and that's how we've planned it. We are talking about purely a social media issue, and that's what our main basis of the show, and talking about stars and getting closer to them.
Okay, and second season, the big highlight is that Salman sir is going to be there.
In fact, he will be our season opener. So, हम season शायद उन्हीं के साथ open करेंगे. So that's what it is. As far as I was asked this question, why wasn't he in the first season? So there are reasons why he was not in the first season. Because firstly, I wanted to not, like you said, have this impression that Arbaz is starting a new chat show, and maybe the introduction of Salman Khan would make it, the reason why the show is taken off or doing well or something. So I wanted to do something that would mean, maybe that's a personal thing. I don't know whether it is anyway relatable or does it make sense. But I just felt on a personal level that I wanted him to be a part of the second season when he was convinced that the first season was good. And also because if I was to do the second season, I should have something like an ace up my sleeve that, okay, fine, second season mein kya, the second season mein Salman. That way. So it was important, because if I was to, like they say na, कि अगर आपने अपने सारे trump cards पहले ही दिखा दिए तो आपके दूसरे में क्या है? Of course, there are bigger stars and many stars are there, but I wanted Salman to be convinced that the show is a good show, is a successful show. It is a show that he would be comfortable talking about certain questions that people would like to know. And he has also proved it. And now for me also it works because I have him in the second season. That makes it very intriguing and interesting. And
as you mentioned that the theme is social media, and Salman sir is also expressing his views about social media. And I believe that what he was saying from whatever I saw in the promo, जो पिछले एक साल में जिस तरीके का फिल्म इंडस्ट्री की ट्रोलिंग हुई है, seems like an organized sort of trolling in a huge manner. Maybe I think he's referring to that.
That's just one part of it. I think we've asked him various kind of questions, things that generally some of the people would like to know about. Of course, there are millions of things to ask. One could always question why wasn't this asked and why wasn't that asked. But we spoke to him about things that we felt that maybe something from his side, an answer was needed, or it would be nice if he could express himself or clarify certain things. So that's what the show is all about. And it's also like to come to know. See, mainly people know a star through the characters and the roles that he plays. There's very little of his personal life, his views, his likes, his dislikes that you come to know about. Somewhere on a show like this, which is a very candid show, you come to know about a certain humane aspect about a certain person's personality, which very rarely they either have an opportunity to talk about or would like. So until unless there is a conducive platform, a comfortable platform created for them to, express those views, they generally would not do that. So we in fact, when we struck on this show, that was quite are kind of a USP kind of a scenario, that for the fact that, that I have been colleagues, I've been a colleague to most of these actors. I've been in the film industry, I've been in the film fraternity. I've also been on the other side of the firing line, where, the media people have asked you sometimes very uncomfortable questions. And, sometimes you have been resistant to answer them. Now, when would one feel comfortable to answer those questions? When you feel that sometimes, I'm not saying all of the media would be that, but sometimes, if you even when we were normally in our careers, we would pick and choose the journalists that we would feel very open to talk about. That, where they would, they'd say, "Yaar, isko main apna personal life ka interview de sakta hu, isko main de sakta hu." And it would not be with everybody, because you have to build that sense of comfort or that faith, where they would talk about their personal lives, their relationships, or their work, or what dreams or desires they have. Now, fortunately for me, when we started this season, it was very important for me, one, to convince the actors or the celebs that I have no malice or bad intentions while doing this show. And it's I'm your colleague. I understand where you guys are coming from. It's paramount for me to see that your interest is held right high, and nothing controversial or nothing which is unnecessary or something that you're uncomfortable will go ahead. We just need to ask you maybe some pinching questions, which is what our show is, maybe sometimes slightly sensitive or controversial questions, but not with the intent of cornering you. It's more with the intent of it would be nice if you were to give a certain kind of a clarification or an answer, if not even a clarification and an answer to something like that. Even your no comment is an answer to a certain extent, that, I don't find it relevant to talk about it. Even that people want to hear at times. So that's what the show is all about. And after doing the first season, what I realized is that if you notice, the entire season with celebs has gone where I've asked them very, very tricky questions, but not a controversial thing has happened. No star has been fortunately upset or asked for, the removal of an episode or a particular show moment or whatever, which tends to sometimes happen. That is purely because we've been mindful and extremely conscious about what content goes out, how we present our stars, what we ask our stars, and what is the intent of anything that is sensitive going out there.
When you make Farah Khan read out a mean tweet that "Muti ke bacche itne सूखे कैसे हैं?"
Yeah, okay.
So she's someone who has a sense of humor. She can take it on herself.
Now, see, there's another very, very, like I said, it's not everything, and it's not with everyone. I know the people who I built this kind of confidence level with. I know that when I talk about something, it's not my statement, it's not my comment. These are comments that are there, which he's confronted with each and every day, maybe at times, So it's just about bringing it out there and say that I'm sure you make these posts. I'm sure you get these kind of comments. I'm quite certain you even read them. And there's a good chance that you obviously don't like what is written. What goes through your mind? What do you have to say? And I also know the fact that this is a question that not anyone can pose to her, for that matter. My history with her goes since childhood. I have known Farah and Sajid since we were kids. My parents have known their parents. So, so when I have maybe a Farhan on the show, or when I have a Farah on the show, or I have somebody like Salman on the show, they know that, it's not coming as a regular journalist asking, to get some kind of numbers or controversy or to make their show popular. It's genuinely because I'm concerned about them to some extent, and I am friends with them, and I want them to enjoy a show. Maybe, I will put them in a spot. Maybe I'll put them in a slightly awkward scenario, but not with any intention of like they can't wriggle out of it. I mean to say, there is always an exit route. So, it's not as though I trap them in a question where they have no answer to say, and they're dumbfounded that, oh, we don't even have an answer to this. I never ask a question for which there is no answer, because, I feel where there is no answer. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Because sometimes you can really ask a question where the other person has got no answer. And that's when you cornered them. And when anybody feels cornered, then they have no option but then to attack or to, just not enjoy what they're doing. So when you give them a slight scenario where okay, he can have this answer, maybe he can have this answer. Let's see which answer he chooses to have. That's when you get the real aspect of the personality of a show. And that's something as a host, or as somebody who does a talk show, very quick have understood that this is what I need to do. So because we sift through a lot of questions, it's like, it's not as though there's the questions that we ask on the show are the only questions that are there to ask. Oh, there are millions of questions to ask, and there are millions of topics that you can ask the stars, particularly that they have been posed to on social media. But we are also mindful and selective about what we ask, because the overall attitude or overall answer is given in that question.
Okay, and so when Tiger Shroff says that social media na unke barabar hai, or there is a mean tweet for Ananya Pandey about her being fake and all those things. But the fact is that Ananya Pandey is very, very popular on social media. She's got a tremendous following. Like, she is extremely popular. So do you find it a bit of a dichotomy as well, that at times a certain perception ban jata hai stars ka, but in reality they're extremely popular?
They're undoubtedly popular. That's the whole thing about. It's not about telling them that, listen, you're very popular, but actually you're not. It's not about that. It's not about demeaning them or telling them, listen, you've got so many million followers, but you know what, this person has said something, so you're not. It's not about that. It's actually what you call dismissing that thought process. It's about dismissing the fact that, listen, this person can say what this person wants, but the truth is that this is where you are. You're successful, you're wanted, you're loved, you got popularity, you got movies, you got ads. There is no need to get discouraged by this stray comment that is coming telling you that you're a non-actor, or you're not beautiful, or you're so-and-so or so-and-so. Because what is happening to you at this point in time in your life does not justify, it does not correlate to what that other person is saying. And that's all you need to know. I know a lot of people who are in the best position of their lives, but they're so sensitive that one stray comment is what influences them. And sometimes that is what even stars need to be strong about. I know there are a lot of stars who get a lot of, trolling, and they get a lot of, negative comments. And one would think, that this would, alter their state of mind. This would alter the way they think, the way they behave. Maybe they will do things to, to correct it, but they're not interested in that. They're genuinely not interested in that. They don't consider these people somebody who is going to, get them off the track. And that is what we get to know from stars, that how affected are you? What happens when something like this happens? What happens when a good work of yours does not gets criticized? Or what happens when a bad work gets, trolled so badly? Does it really, demoralize you, or do you come back with a bang? Or how do you use negativity, or how do you use trolling? Does it kind of propel you to do something more stronger? Does it make you win over people, or does it like you dismiss them? So it's all about that.
So Ayushmann Khurrana has said in season 2 that he's not there on Twitter. He seemed scared, for example. Aamir Khan has got off all the social media platforms. It's only his official production house that is there now. What does it tell you that the way stars have become wary of social media, in a way scared as well? What does it tell you about the social media scene like? Or what is the internal discussion like within the film industry?
Listen, much as you would like to think that, maybe I'm a complete expert of social media, I am not. And not just me, nobody is. Nobody can turn around and tell you that, what, this is how social media is and this is where it's going to go. We all have our own personal experiences, and what we know is from very limited sources of what people think. I know for a fact that some of our stars, they use more of social media. There are many different views of them. I've spoken to a lot of them. Some find it, connecting with their stars, with their followers, and keeping them abreast with what's happening in their life, connected with what's happening in their life, and they are okay with that. They're okay with, discussing many aspects of their life, where they go, which gym they go, what they eat, how they travel, what, holidays they take, the people they meet, things that they like, books that they read. And they just constantly, because if you're going to make 4 posts in a day, which is what is supposedly the pressure from a media agency that is like kind of taking care of your media promotion or whatever, that listen, you got to make a post in the morning, the traction is good then. You got to make one in the afternoon, you got to make one in the evening, and then one you got to make like that. Now, if you're going to do with these guidelines, there are fair enough, you'll get your benefits or whatever, and some do follow that. I know people who are constantly putting something or the other, a photo session or something. They're happy with that. They're comfortable with that. There are some people who keep it very relatable. They first and foremost, they never post anything about their personal lives. They only post about their professional lives and what they're doing, and keeping the audience or their followers, you know, connected with what they do professionally. You cannot put them all in one basket and say, film industry as a whole behaves like this. No, they don't. I do a social media show. You look at my social media handle. I mean, to say, I rarely make a post on Twitter. Rarely. I don't. I very rarely. I use Instagram a little more often than the other, but I am not on Facebook. But it's not that I'm not aware of what's happening. I am aware. I go on. I use Twitter to, to read things. I follow a lot of my news on Twitter. I follow a few people who I get my opinion from. I don't necessarily use these handles to project what I want to do. I also see what others are doing, and I want to learn or understand or see things like that. So there are a lot of people who use social media differently. And like I said, I've had people on the show who said that, initially when we used to read negative tweets about us, it used to make me angry. It used to make me upset. Then it to the extent it made me sick. Then after that, I tried to ignore it. And then today I find it amusing. So these are evolutions that happen. These are the transitions that happen, that, when something is new, you don't know how to react to it. And as and how you know that's part of the territory, and, you don't need to lose sleep over it. You just get, okay, you go ahead. There are people who are, unfortunately, young children who have used cyberbullying, who've seen cyberbullying and who've seen this kind of trolling and affected their mental state. Probably their lives have gone because of that. So social media is something, again, like I said, is a very new thing that has happened. Maybe 8-10 years back, it has gone into some kind of, like momentum. And we thought about it initially as something which was very candid, to put holiday pictures or to just connect with your friends, or to, just do some casual stuff here and there. But today we realize that whatever we say or do on social media is become very, very serious, very sensitive, and very accountable. But the accountability also, which I said earlier on the show, is restricted only to a certain section of people. I mean to say, if you're a celeb and you park in a no parking zone, I mean to say, the trolling that you're going to get and the repercussions of what you're going to get will be like, oh, how irresponsible is he? He's a role model. They will drop him from an ad. They'll drop him from a movie, when actually parking in a no parking area is just a 250 rupee fine, probably. So why, we have to understand that, sometimes when they say, oh, sometimes, in a lot of aspects of our life, they say celebrities and known people get away with a lot of things. Social media is one place where a celebrity does not get away with anything as of now, which I've seen. They pay a high price for whatever they do. So they are, it's like a mantle given to them, or it's like a responsibility given to them, that now that we like you, you better be a role model. You cannot be caught with a cigarette in your hand, probably. You cannot be driving like this. You cannot be parking like this. You cannot be eating like this. You cannot be talking like this. You cannot have a small brawl and push somebody. You just push somebody because you don't want him around you, which it's like you lost your ads, you lost your movies, you lost your respectability, you lost everything. Is it really the crime in context to what the celeb has done? Is it what it is? So we have to understand that if you're going to do that to a celeb, you also have to pull it down to a common man. Probably a person who's a faceless guy on social media can troll you, abuse your family, can say what the hell he wants. He can talk about your personal life, professional life, everything. But so what? He can. But you try saying it you can't. So there is a disparity here. We have to understand social media, that it works out on some strange level. It is working. It's getting you a lot of work. It's getting you a lot of attention. It's also taking away a lot of your work and a lot of your respectability and a lot of your livelihood at times. I mean to say, sometimes if you get shamed on social media, there's no way you're going to make a living again in your life, because the punishment does not even have a term. It doesn't even have, okay, iske 6 mahine ki saza hai, या इसका 1 साल की सजा है या 1 साल का सस्पेंशन है, बस खत्म, आप गए। तो दैट इज व्हाई पीपल हैव बिकम very wary of how social media is used or should be used, and that is why they show that social media is not a joke anymore. Social media is driving your life, your livelihood, your income, your respectability, everything. So, and we don't know how to use it. There are no laws, there is no accountability. There's accountability on one level, which is a self-proclaimed accountability. It's not in the law, but we have decided as a community, इसको बैन करो, इसको ह्यूमिलेट करो, इसको ट्रोल करो, इसको निकाल दो, इसको काम से निकाल। अरे भाई, क्या किया है उसने? उसने एक नॉर्मल आदमी से, फॉर इंस्टेंस, क्या चिल्ला के अगर किसी ने बात की है या कहीं पार्टी में झगड़ा हो गया तो ठीक है, होता है यार, सेलेब से भी हो सकता है, लेकिन उसके लिए माफी नहीं है। उसके लिए कोई माफी नहीं। रास्ते के ऊपर डंडे लेके आप 50 लोगों को मारो, आप जस्टिफिकेशन ढूंढोगे। गलती से अगर किसी ने ऐसा भी किया ना, सेलेब ने किसी की तरफ, अरे देखो उसने उसके ऊपर हाथ उठाया, अब तो साला ये इसको निकालो। तो what I'm saying is that the punishment against the crime is too severe for a celeb. So that whole thing के celebs को बहुत फायदे हैं, celebs को बहुत छूट है, celebs को बहुत ये है, वो हम टॉपिक डिस्कस करते हैं, इनसे पूछते हैं आपको कैसा लगता है कल को ऐसा हो जाए, तो सब बोलते हैं भाई हमसे तो हम किसी ने मुझे गाली दी, आप गाली दे सकते हो। एक दो नॉर्मल लोगों के अंदर कितनी गाली गलौच होती है, आप देखो उनके बीच के अंदर, तूने उसको गाली दी, उसने उसको गाली, तूने ट्राई डूइंग इट एज अ सेलेब और एज अ सेलिब्रिटी, ट्राई डूइंग इट कि एक ने गाली दी, बोला अरे देखो यार इसने कैसे गाली दे दी यार, ये पागल हो गया क्या, इसकी कोई रिस्पेक्ट नहीं है क्या? तो यू कांट डू दीज थिंग्स। आई एम नॉट सेइंग वन शुड डू इट, but I'm saying is that there is social media, we are all learning what is happening with it, what we should do with it, how we should use it, what are the benefits, what are the disadvantages, and it now needs to get formulated as something that is a, if we are going to take it so seriously and so sensitively, then we need to put laws with it. I mean to say, we've got to get laws with it, because we can't just be randomly behaving कि भाई ऐसा कर दो वैसा कर दो ना। तो कल को आप मेरे को ह्यूमिलेट कर रहे हो फालतू में, आप मेरे को टॉर्चर कर रहे हो, आप साइबर बुली कर रहे हो। तो पहले जमाने में क्या होता था कि आपको कोई एक फोन कॉल आ गया थ्रेटनिंग का, तो आपने पुलिस वाले को कंप्लेंट कर दिया, उसने सेकंड टाइम फॉलो किया कि हाँ ये कॉल आ गया, आप उसको अरेस्ट करते थे। यही होता था ना, थ्रेटनिंग कॉल किया आपने, मैं तेरे को मार डालूंगा, या तू मुझे इतने पैसे दे मार डालूंगा। उसके बाद आपने पुलिस में कंप्लेंट की कि यार ये आदमी मुझे फोन करता है, बोलता है मुझे मारेगा। वो आपका फोन टैप करते हैं, दूसरी बार फिर आता है उसका फोन, पता चलता है कहां से आया फोन, उसको जाके पिकअप कर लेते हैं। यहाँ हो रहा है क्या? यहाँ 50 बार मैं तुझे मार डालूंगा, मैं तेरे को ये कर दूंगा। इन सब so many cases they talk about to women saying we will do this to you, we will do that to you. Who's taking any action? What action is happening? So we have to understand that it is serious on one level, but it is ridiculously casual on the other.
I was talking on this aspect. What we've seen, especially last year, that social media to social media, but even the way the news channels, certain news channels, the way they trolled the film industry openly without any facts, based on just hearsay and speculation. What do you say about that?
What do I have to say about that? It's obviously a ridiculous thing. I mean, say any person with who understands that if any information is coming without any base, and it is projected as something which is true, it's like a crime. It's not a joke. It's not entertainment. If you're going to without any kind of authenticity, you're going to validate something which is not true, and you're going to embarrass people on national network, and just because you've got a 24-hour channel that is working, that needs to provide some kind of news constantly, because you've got bills to pay, you've got a big office, you've got hundreds of people working for you, and you've got ads coming to you, and you have to justify all of that. You say, okay, fine, forget going into the depth of getting some reality check on this. Let's just go and do what we have. Finally, what do we have to fear? Nothing. What's going to happen? Nothing. In the worst case, we will have to give an apology. In the worst case. So there is no defamation libel suit that can happen. No channel can shut down. No court case can happen realistically as of now. Where does it happen for us to believe that it happens? Tell me which one channel has shut down because one wrong news that came that affected somebody went into court and that channel got shut. Tell me. So they are sitting behind a very, very comfortable position. They're like snipers. They're sitting from a vantage point, shooting at you, not knowing where the bullet is going to come from. And you're getting hit. And we don't know who's doing it. And we don't know. And in this case, we also know who's doing it, but there's nothing you can do, which is a tragedy. Where has a libel suit ever been got anything out of, but the lives have been destroyed. So there is, maybe if you feel, okay, fine, you have a responsibility to society to carry news, do so. It doesn't matter if it's somebody's professional news or personal news, but yes, you have to get it with some kind of validation. And you cannot put somebody on trial before and, convict him before even the court has done that. Why do we have a court then? If there is a hearing and there are sides of the story that are going to be heard, why are we getting stories and putting it out there? But listen, this is not something that is going to change overnight. By me sitting here and showing my slight disapproval of the certain kind of news that comes, I mean to say news is extremely important. We get, let's just say with all the news, there is a certain section of the news that is not so palatable and interesting or true. But by and large, news is important because we need to know what's happening in the world. So, but when it is not used in the right sense, because they have a lot of power, there is a reason why they say the pen is mightier than the sword, because what you write and what you say is very effective. So you have to be judicious about how you use your pen. You've got to be mindful of how you speak about what you say, because it's not just getting TRPs and getting, numbers and getting ads and all that stuff. Every life is important. Every life's mental state is important.
Interestingly, last year, certain channels, they made huge number of money out of ads because of their Bollywood shows, which were mostly speculative.
Hi, this is Arbaz Khan, and you're watching Bollywood Hungama with Faridun.